Hey guys, Sovereign Jane Jenkins here, author of P Policy, which is about setting boundaries and maintaining self respect. It's a self help book to elevate the consciousness of young women in society. So, the first thing about healing is knowing when there's a problem. So, I'm building out a framework to help people progress through the process of healing. Because if you don't know that there's a problem, or you're just ignoring the problem, you know there's a problem, then how are you going to get through to that other side? And oftentimes, ignoring a problem leads to you to feel more pain throughout the entire duration of the process that you have to heal from. So instead of running away from the pain and everything that you must feel, you have to lean into it and you got to feel it straight on. Because if you keep escaping and keep running away from it, you're just putting a band aid over the bullet wound and you're not addressing the things that are causing you distress. Now, if you have not identified the things from your past that are causing you to be in a distressful state, get a therapist, get a clinician, a psychologist, someone on board to help you identify those things that triggered you and has you in a state that you keep getting re-triggered by the present from what happened in the past. Now, you can get a coach to help you in the future to take steps forward in the right direction and figure out how you want to live your life and figure out what direction you want to go in, because it is easy to get swallowed up in this life and not have any sense of direction. You're just going from day to day to hour to minute with not really having a good foundation, a good idea of who you are and what you want to be. You're just existing, you're not living. And that is the issue. You want to enjoy this life. You want to live this life as if it's your last, and you don't want to take a second for granted. And oftentimes we feel like we have so much time left on this earth when we really don't. We don't have that much time left. And we have to acknowledge the fact that if we do not handle those things that are persistently bugging us and keeping us awake at night and that are causing us distress, we're literally living in the dark. Like, life is a tunnel of darkness. There is no light. And what makes life worth it sometimes is that light at the end of the tunnel. Is getting through it and figuring out that this life is exactly what I want it to be. Like, you have to figure out that key for yourself. No one can give it to you. No one should be coming into your life and becoming everything. They should not be the center and focus of your life. You need to have happiness on your own and then introduce somebody else to that flow. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable if that person leaves your life. So you need to be happy on your own and be able to live in a space and in a place to where you bring joy and happiness to other people's lives. And that's where I come in. I function in a wavelength to I like putting smiles on people's faces, even though they're sick, even though they're in distress, even though they're in a bed and might be facing a life ending illness. My specialty is to still make them laugh despite the circumstances that they are facing. So, being that as an RN, that's not necessarily a requirement of our job, but I feel like as an individual, that is my goal, because I would want someone to do the same for me if our roles were reversed and I was sitting in that bed. Just the fact that I can make somebody laugh who is sick, that's that makes it all worth it for me. And yes, being sick is not the same as having an emotional bullet wound or having trauma that's in the back of your head. But when it boils down to it, it's all the same, because you have to address that bullet wound and you have to address that emotional trauma, because if you don't, you're going to push everyone away. And that is an unhealthy path to walk. In this life, we have to figure out how to make life worth living. And it's sad, but if that means taking some people out and placing them where they belong, then that's what must occur. But ultimately, you get to make that decision. And If you feel like you cannot make that decision, then get a coach. Get someone that has an external opinion, bring them into your life, and indoctrinate them to what's going on with you so that you can address it together. Because a coach will walk you through it. A coach will hold your hand and walk you through everything that you need to address with any situation. And we're looking towards the future, we're not looking back. That is the point of it all. You do not want to stay stuck in a continuous cycle of trauma and tribulations and trials and figuring out what your life wants to look like instead of walking down that path of what you desire it to be. So, if this is you, get a coach. And if you need healing, you can book me. I'm Sovereign Jane Jenkins at boundariesanddetachment.com. Okay? So, yes, I'm an author, which is like my entertainment piece, but I'm also a nurse, which is the healing piece. That's my specialty. Now, we can laugh and we can walk down the path together to your healing journey. And that is the point of it all for me, because that's what's going to give me joy, which is helping you get towards your goals. So, book a call with me. I'm Sovereign Jane Jenkins. Enjoy your day.